What's up, everyone? I am gonna take a little bit longer here in the intro so that Adam can confirm that he has started recording his audio. Excellent. Great thumbs up. Adam has a great thumb. Works its magic in many, many ways. Well, the first is to let me know, yeah, I'm recording my audio locally. The second way is a secret. You won't find out until after our Game on Game show today. Welcome to Respawn Aim Fire, the Kick-Ass Irreverent Gaming Podcast brought to you by Affable Idiots. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Michael, slithering like a snake in us. We've got here our co-host, Adam, tromping like a T-Rex.
Don't say trumping.
How are you, Adam?
Even if you don't mean it that way.
Tromping.
Okay.
Tromping all around the place. You know what I love that Chad set up end of series tease? I just feel like we're going to go the way of Lost. We're like, oh man, why is the polar bear here? And talking about my thumbs, and we're never going to get back to the polar bear. It doesn't matter.
Got to stick around, figure out that bear's little. What is he doing there?
We have to go back.
Is he lost? Is he here on purpose? And that other voice you just heard is our other co-host, Alex, tweeting like a tallywhacker, Cozino.
Tweeting like a tallywhacker. A
turtle.
Telephants. To birds.
Telephants.
Teletubby.
To mongooses. Teletubbies.
Yeah.
We've never established whether or not they're humans or like human-like creatures, or if they are in fact animals. This is actually a bit of a sad episode of the show. As I'm sure you guys heard over the weekend, RFK Jr. really cracked down on poppers across the United States because of some long-awaited conspiracy theory that suggests that poppers somehow cause autism. And in a move that is likely just very illegal, he actually sent his goons into the great nation of Canada to further eliminate any and all poppers that they could find here. And that actually meant them going into people's houses and destroying any poppers that they could find, seizing them en masse. It was absolutely terrible. And so I'm sad to report that, unfortunately, the Kazina household is now completely popper free.
Is it popper free? Did you use all the poppers before they could get to you?
Actually, I'm just kidding, Adam. I got a popper today. It's lemon and lime flavored.
What are they talking about with poppers, and what is this thing, and why are they talking about it? Well, if you want to learn what poppers are, both what we thought they were and what we've learned they are, you can check out After Dark, which is our Patreon exclusive episode for the month of March. That's patreon.com/respawnaimfire, where you can go and get a bunch of benefits like watching an exclusive show like After Dark 2, which is our anything but video games topic show, where we talked about poppers as one of our main topics of conversation.
I will also say, just real quick, I know some people are real weird about watching people eat on camera. My mom, there was a lot of moving parts in the lead up to tonight's episode. At the last minute, they were like, hey, Cozy, can you set up the scene in OBS? And I was like, sure, no problem. But then just as I was about to set it up, my mom was like, Cozy, I need your help in the kitchen. I need you to find me a mashed potato recipe and do all these things. And so I didn't get to eat as quickly as I was hoping to tonight. So I'm currently enjoying some vegetables and mashed potato while we talk about video games on this podcast.
No lentil soup or whatever he had that one time. Remember he had that last soup? That was great.
Related, you might notice we are missing Joel's sexy, sultry voice, and that is because he had some weird emergency with his power company that said, hey, we need to come out immediately and schedule a 3-hour time to come out and fix something and also kill you. And so he's dead. He stopped responding to text messages. He stopped his Acorns account getting those like extra pennies. You know, like when you go, I bought something for $1.87, and then Acorns is like, we can take the extra 13 cents and put it in a savings account for you. That never heard of stopped completely. Like he hasn't done that since he last texted us.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So either he hasn't spent anything, or he's disconnected his Acorns account, or the power company stole all the money from his Acorns account. Any of those are possible. We can't tell until he comes back to life or we get an invitation to his funeral. Anyway, that's where Joel is today. You today could be watching us live on twitch.tv/affableidiots if it's a Monday and it's around 8:30 Eastern time, which it is right now, exactly on the dot as I'm saying this. So make sure you sign in early and go and click and watch us early in case we're early. And if you don't want to watch us live, you can go to all of the places where you would normally watch a video or listen to an audio. You would listen to an audio on Wednesday mornings now at 9 a.m. Eastern time. That's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's the way we're going to do the show today. We've got a couple of things to talk about Star Wars related today. We've got some What Are We Playing, and we've got a pretty good little game on game show. It's going to be a nice quick one. So let's jump into our main quest today. Oh, wait, sorry. Housekeeping. We are playing a BARF game, Backlog Accomplishment with Respawn and Friends, the game for March, which you all have chosen thanks to patreon.com/respawnaimfire. And then you forced me to choose from your choices, was Crysis. We're playing Crysis as our backlog game. It is on Game Pass if you want to play the 360 version. It was on sale on PSN. I don't know if it is any longer. And I think they are giving you a tax refund if you download it on Steam.
Also,
Patreon.
real quick, if you have
Yeah.
Game Pass PC or Game Pass Ultimate, the remastered version is available on the PC Game Pass app. That's how I'm
Oh, there you
playing it.
go. If you got a little PC that can play the little Windows, and you got a little Game Pass that lets you play on the PC, and then you can go in there and you play the remaster version. Yeah, patreon.com/respawnaimfire, where you can help us choose those games each month and get your exclusive episodes. Let's now jump into our main quest. We got 2 Star Wars game looking motherfuckers right here. The very first one, a couple Star Wars games get confirmed. This comes from Andy Robinson at Vaguka, or Video Games Chronicle, VGC. The Star Wars strategy game from studio Bit Reactor and Jedi Survivors Respawn, no relation, will be revealed next month. It is confirmed. On Saturday, April 19th, the pair will appear on stage at Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo, Japan, right alongside Alex Kozina, where they will offer the first look at their, quote, Star Wars turn-based tactics game.
Wait, hold on.
The strategy game is being...
Sorry,
Yeah.
I had a big piece of mashed potato in my mouth. Where and when is this happening?
This is happening Saturday, April 19th in Tokyo, Japan, at whatever hotel you're staying at Star Wars Celebration.
Oof. Unfortunately, I will actually be back in Canada by that point. I'm only staying there until the 15th, so unfortunately, I won't be able to see it live, but that's pretty cool.
You should go tell Bob Iger so that he can reschedule Star Wars Celebration.
I'll see if I can pull some strings. I'll see what I can do.
The strategy game is being developed through a production collaboration with Bit Reactor, which is a new studio formed by veterans of XCOM and Civilization Studio for Access Games. Respawn is producing the latest Star Wars strategy game, while Bit Reactor leads on the development of the title. Interesting. Adam, tell me all about how much, like on the scale from 0 to horny as fuck, what are you on this for this game right now?
Let's say there's a reason that it's the only story we have for the day. Is it because there's a slow news day and I like XCOM? Yes, to both of those. No, yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? There's a really good game out there that used a license made by XCOM developers that not enough of you played, called Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is a fantastic game, super good, wonderful game. This is obviously a different studio.
I played it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Not enough of it, but I played it.
Me and you are some of the 10 people that played it. So yeah, I mean, that's again, it's not Firaxis, but it's people from Firaxis who made those games so good. Obviously, Respawn has done a killing with basically every game they put out, but especially their Star Wars license game. I know they're just producers on it, but I'm hopeful the fact that this isn't one of the ones that got canceled. Because there was a couple Star games that got canceled recently. So this one not being one of them, I'm hopeful.
What do you feel like is Respawn's role in all of this? I know they're like literally the role of the producer, but like why Respawn?
I don't know, because they work with the license, because they have talented people on the team. I don't know specifically what they would do, but their names are going to be on the game, so it seems like they would have. I wouldn't be shocked if like Vince Zampella is like overlooking the project or something like that. You know,
many years ago, there was a video game franchise called Command and Conquer. Technically, the franchise still exists, but outside of a recent remaster, it's not really the kind of thing that EA is upping all that recently. And there's a brief period of time where EA rebranded a bunch of its different studios to have the BioWare name. Like they're like, and now this studio is called BioWare Austin. BioWare Austin is already a thing that was responsible for a lot of the Old Republic stuff, but like they did this with a bunch of other studios, and like the whole idea was like BioWare is sort of the North Star of our studios right now. It's making just consistently excellent games time after time, and we basically are kind of putting them at the top as sort of like the kind of like the studio chiefly kind of controlling quality and putting their stamp of approval on all of our various products to kind of show people who maybe might not be otherwise interested in a Star Wars RTS game. Is it an RTS game?
It's a strategy game.
Strategy game that like this is something that they should be paying attention to. And I think it's a similar thing here where it's like respawning fire. Not respawning fire, respawn. It's the first time I feel like I've made that mistake on the podcast. Like incredibly respected studio, consistently make great games. Them being in charge of this project, even if they're not actually all that intimately involved in it on the day-to-day basis, is sort of like a show of support slash approval. It's a sign that like, yo, if you're an average Star Wars fan, you should be paying attention to this, even if they're not actually that involved in it.
I know we have this like directive from Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and everyone now is like every Star Wars thing that exists now is canon. Do you think there's more than just this being canon? Do you think like this is set with like characters and continuing the story of Cal Kestis in the Jedi series?
No,
And that's
it'll
why
be
Respawn is so closely involved?
no, it'll be hey, in this planet you've never heard of, there's these people we're doing this thing over here, and we'll never. It might get referenced in the TV show one day, but I don't expect. I don't expect there to be a lot of far-reaching, things that matter. That would be cool for a Cal to show up or somebody from a Respawn game. Maybe Grease shows up as in a ship and you have fun. But the way I like they did make that directive where everything's canon, but then none of them actually touch each other or matter at all. Like I don't think any of the video game characters have ever crossed paths with anybody on the TV shows or the movies ever. So I think they keep them separate but both legal, which is an interesting way to go about life. That's how you should do with minors and adults.
And our second Star Wars story today, also from Wesley Inpool, but this time, wait, was he the first one too? Oh no, it was Andy Robinson was the first one. Wesley Inpool at IGN or IGN or what is it? Games Network in their
Imagine
International
Games Network.
What is IGN? Imagine Games Network. That's right. KOTOR remake still quote unquote happening. Hot on the heels of the announcement of Warhammer 40K Space Marine 3, Saber Chief Creative Officer Tim Willits tweeted to reassure the studio's fans that everything it's announced is still in the works. Here's the quote. Saber Interactive is one of the largest independent developers in the world. We are working on numerous games across many different genres. Everything that we have talked about is still in development. We will share information on upcoming games when we have something cool to share. In April 2024, Saber Interactive CEO Matthew Karch confirmed the company took KOTOR with it during its split from Embracer Group, and that the game was still in active development. Willits' statement, which comes nearly 12 months later, reaffirms Karch's quote. But still, even now, we've seen nothing of the KOTOR remake beyond its initial announcement video. Adam, this game, one of the most beloved RPGs of all time, ends up in the hands of your enemy.
My arch nemesis.
Your nemesis, Aspire, gets rescued by Saber Interactive and then goes dark for a year. And then we know it's still happening. We have no idea what this game looks like, what the level of remake it's going to be. What is the scope of this game? We have no idea, but we know, hey, it's not canceled. Does this do anything for you?
Here's the thing. I'm much more excited about this game than I was before. Again, when it went to Aspire and Embracer, I'm like, this is nothing. This is actually a nothing-ass game. And then we heard the reports of like, yo, that game was so bad. Sony and Disney were like, fucking please, no, this is not ever going to happen. But after the split from Saber and Embracer, like Saber's been on a tear. Again, hey, they make all those Mudrunner games that you and the boys love. On top of that, though, but like Warhammer Space Marine 2 is a big deal. Everyone like Saber is a good studio that makes good video games now that they're not underneath the umbrella of somebody who doesn't actually know how to run a video game business. So I have more faith for it. That being said, that game is probably 6 years away and who knows what it's going to be. And I'm still like, I still don't necessarily really care, but I trust Saber more than I ever did Embracer and Aspire. So I guess that's a one positive. But on the other hand, I'm also like, I'll see it when I see it. I'll be dead by then, but one of these days.
I gotta be honest. I know there are a lot of people that are really looking forward to the prospect of a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. I feel like the resources that are going towards this just project that's shambling along like a zombie could be better serviced with other interesting Star Wars spin-off games that we're not getting. When are we going to get the Dex Jetster Diner Dash spin-off game where you
That'd
have
be a
to
great
serve all
mobile
sorts
game.
of all sorts of food to all the many alien denizens that visit your space cantina? When are we going to get the Senator Grebliev's space exploration game? Do you guys know who Senator Grebliev's is?
Say his name one more time.
Grebliev's.
I mean, I watch Star Wars a lot. I'm sure I know if I saw a picture of him.
Senator Grebliev's is the ET alien that appears briefly in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, because Grebliev's is Spielberg backwards. That's a little Star Wars fact for you all.
Oh, whoa. You just blew my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. In all seriousness, we will see. I agree with Adam that the situation that the game is right now under its current ownership is perhaps a little bit more promising, but it is going to just take so much time until we finally hear news about this game, how it's going along.
Real
Here's
quick.
a fun thing to.
Oh, go ahead, Chad.
Okay, yeah, go for it, Adam.
No. It's I'm gonna make a joke. Just go for it.
Okay, here's a fun thing to make you feel like you're basically dead. How many years ago do you think KOTOR came out?
At least probably 20. 22, maybe.
Cozy, you got a guess?
I mean, it's got to be like 25, right?
It was 22 years ago.
22.
22 years ago, Knights of the Old Republic came out. I was looking up to see, because I did not play this game when it came out, but I did play it when it came to iPad for like 10 minutes. And I was like, when did this come to iPad? And I saw 2013. I was like, fuck. When did that game come out if it came to iPad 12 years ago?
Wow.
Oh, man.
Still,
I'm going to throw up.
Not entirely related, but sort of related. I saw a post on Blue Sky earlier that was about how apparently the amount of time between now and the release of the original Half-Life is exactly how much time had elapsed between the release of what was it, Pong, the original release of Pong, and Half-Life. Like, Half-Life is now exactly in the middle of like the history of modern video games.
And you're all slowly going to the grave. So the joke I was gonna make though is that I just love Grebliev's. God. Yes, there's an ET alien in Star Wars because Spielberg and George Lucas are friends. Don't you just like it when like two old fucks are buddies? Because those guys have just like made movies and just done crossovers for fucking 50 years just because they like each other. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason ET is in a Senate meeting in Star Wars. It makes no sense at all. But they're like, hey, you're my buddy. You want to put his dumb ass in there?
And he was one of the aliens that voted in the whole no confidence thing. So he's responsible for the rise of fascism.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How can I not pronounce that word? That's like the number one most important word right now. The rise of fascism in the Star Wars universe.
So ET pro
That's
fascism.
the reason poppers aren't in Canada right now.
Yep.
I was going to say, hashtag cancel ET.
Oh boy. Good stuff.
All right. Well, that's your daily dose of Star Wars video game content. We're going to now move on to Playtime. We're talking about what we played this week. It's called Playtime. Adam, tell me about your 2 games that you got here.
Oh my God, dude. I played probably 2 of the best games of the last couple of years. So Steam is having a spring sale because Steam every couple of months is like, here's a bunch of sales. So I went on there. I was like, all right, what are some of basically you go to like most popular. I'm like, what are the games that are on sale everyone's playing right now? And I was like, oh, both of these games look cool. I've wanted to play them for a while, but it's like, hey, now they're on sale, so I'll do it for sure. First game I got for $9. Normally it's 12, so it's not a huge discount, but still.
Are you kidding? That's 25%.
Yeah, that was a big 25 on there. TCG Card Shop Simulator.
Man,
I'm into this.
Yeah, so this is a game people might have seen or people heard about it if you listen to a man who rides a winter vehicle. He talks about it a lot, Snowbike Mike. But no, it is basically a fun simulator game where you run like a nerdy card shop. And I'm super into it. Oh my God, dude. I mean, again, it's that thing where these simulator games kind of again, for me, it's management. Like management simulation in a video game form is great to me. But the idea is you just have like a small little shop. You only have, depending on what level you are, you can only have certain stuff. So like you start out like I can only buy booster packs, and I can only buy like card sleeves or whatever. But then as you gain more money, as the days go on, you can get more stuff. And then people will come in, they're like, I want to buy these packs. I want to sell you the card. It sells on the market for $5. Give me $4 for it. And you try to resell it. You're basically doing all that. But as long as the game goes on, like you start adding tables and people like sit down and pay hourly to like play against each other at your tables. These motherfuckers be walking in stinking. You got to spray them down so they don't stink anymore. You can start like buying like dice and play mats. And like, if you've ever been to, I mean, Chad, I don't know if you've ever been, but you've ever been to one of those shops. It's like, they've got TCG, they've got D&D stuff. They've got tables. And
Oh yeah.
That's literally what the game is. You're just making one of those shops. And it's a ton of fun. The fun thing about it is that the game has like not a generic, like a made for the game, like Terramon is like what the cards are based on, which is obviously it's a Pokemon ripoff. I'll just say,
I also am pretty sure Terramon is a Digimon.
Well, they spell it different.
Let me check. You can keep talking.
I will just say, Adam, I also bought TCG Simulator. Yeah, Joel Campos in the chat. Not dead, apparently. Power does work.
Hey, there he is.
He is talking about mod. I will tell you, allegedly, there are mods online, and you can change all the cards to real Pokemon cards or real Yu-Gi-Oh cards or real things that aren't licensed, but maybe allegedly you could do them through mods and stuff. So yeah, maybe I'm just like, and the funny thing is that like you'll buy, because like when you buy a boot, like a box of cards, right? That have all the boosters inside of it. Like you open the packs and they put them on the shelf. So I'll open those. It comes in like a pack of 32. I'll put them on the shelf. At the end of the day, it's like, I've got 3 left. I'll just open these bad boys real quick. Let me just open these bitches up and see if I get anything inside. Because sometimes you'll pull a card that's worth like $100. And it's like, well, that was worth me opening this pack and not selling it for $4. But yeah, allegedly, if you play with mods, you'll be like, all right, I've got 10 left on the shelf. I'm going to order more in the morning. Let me just rip it and see if I can get a Charizard. Let me see if I can get that expensive Charizard, that Illustrator Pikachu. Let me see if that shit's in here. So again, the simulator, it's a super fun game, and just like playing the Pokemon resell, fucking selling packs to people, opening stuff, and that's super fun. And then motherfuckers come in stinking, you got to spray them down. That's a good time. It's a ton of fun. Love that game. And yes, what did we find out about Terramon? Is that a Digimon or no?
So I looked into it. Unfortunately, Terramon is not a Digimon. Either it's spelled Terra or Tera. There is. It's possible Chad was confusing him with Terriermon, spelled Terrier. He's the little rabbit-looking dude. He was a big part of the 3rd season of Digimon. So just real quick, when people talk about Digimon, they often joke about how like, oh, it's like you start out as a kitten and then it transforms into a dinosaur and then it transforms into like a fridge with a Gatling gun. Terriermon is like class A, exhibit A example of this, because starts out as like this little green, light, white looking rabbit thing, evolves into basically a bigger version of himself wearing jorts and with 2 Gatling guns on his arms. And then it gets more and more advanced from there. But I always found that very funny.
I have a couple of like sales updates. One,
okay.
TCG Empire Card Shop Simulator is on a bunch of platforms, not just PC.
Different game.
Oh, that's different? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this game doesn't have Empire in the name.
That's confusing. Second thing, while I was on Steam looking up this game, I also decided to check for Crysis. Crysis is $7.49 right now on Steam. If you wanted to buy that as well through the 20th of March.
Nice.
It's also included for free with EA Play. So if you have $5.99 for EA Play, you got that too.
There you go. Awesome. But yeah, no, TCG Card Shop Simulator, super cool. I will keep playing with mods because that's the best way to play the video game. The other game I played, best-selling video game of all time. No, I'm not kidding. I'm just kidding. Best-selling video game of 2023, Hogwarts Legacy, was also on sale. For a big $14. And I was like, fuck, I've been looking at that game forever, but it never goes on sale. To a price that I would be willing to pay for it. But I was like, yeah, $14. Yeah, I'm into it. Let me tell you, I get why it was best-selling game of the year it came out. It is, again, J.K. Rowling sucks. I'm not arguing that point. But that brings back the magic of the movies, like playing that game. It's like, oh yeah, this is just every time you like you collect a fucking secret and it plays the fucking do 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 do. I was like, all right, y'all know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that game has been excellent so far. I've really, really enjoyed it. I see why it was such a big seller. But yeah, it's fun making my little guy. He got dreads. I have hair again, and hanging out and doing a bunch of dark magic, trying to kill some goblins or whatever.
What house you get sorted into?
I chose Slytherin.
Of course.
Yeah, come
So
on
you
now.
can
I gotta go back and play that again. I never finished it.
Yeah.
quick
I'm
question:
like
do you choose your house, or do you still get like the sorting hat, like little survey thing?
the sorting hat. Yeah, you do a survey and it will be like, this is the one it suggested, but then it's like you just press B and then pick whatever you want if you want to. And I was
Yeah.
like, it
I mean,
sorted me into
there's a
Slytherin, and then I also just chose Slytherin anyways, so it's fine.
there's a trophy associated with doing the first, like, I don't know, half of the game for all 4 houses because it's slightly different depending on what house you have. And so you have to be able to choose your house. Otherwise, it's just, dear God, I hope I create a character and make some choices that get me into this house so that I can get this goddamn trophy. So
Yeah, combat's really it's a really good idea where the combat is, again, obviously you're casting spells and using wands or whatever, but it's kind of combo based where it's like, oh, this one pulls him towards me, hit him, Levioso, put him in the air, hit him, fireball to finish him off, kind of an idea. And it's like, I like the flow of the combat. Exploring the grounds is super cool, and it's a pretty game. So again, I'm only like 6 hours in, but I'm into it.
Have you gotten into the point of the combat too where there's like different enemy, like combat is not just necessarily about combos, but it's like this person has this color shield, which means
Yeah,
you
I've
have
got all
to
the
use this type of move on it.
3 color shields so far at the moment. Is what I have: the yellow, blue, and red. But Stupefy gets rid of anybody who's got a shield. Just a big heads up. Pink.
Stupefy.
It's so funny.
God, I gotta go back and play that game.
It's so good. Thinking about those movies, I love. Again, this game is also very much like learning the spells and doing the wand movement correctly, like the first time you learn it, and yada yada yada. And there's such an emphasis on learning because obviously the movies are about kids in school. But by the time you get to like the 5th, 6th, and 7th, they just stop saying the fucking things. They just fucking scream, and then shit comes out of their wands. It's so funny watching fucking Ray Fiennes just like pointing his wand and he stops talking like by the time there's 2 movies left, and they just shoot shit at each other. It's fucking great.
Meanwhile, in the very beginning of the series, you're like, you have to say Leviosa.
You have to say very specifically. And it's funny when you're doing it, like you're saying shit, like you're saying the full thing. About if I was Voldemort, I wouldn't even say these words. He just fucking yells. That's great. But no,
I'm just gonna scream, bitch.
Yeah, that's all he does.
Snakes.
Nikini. Yeah, that was all I played.
Nikini dinner. Dope. Love those little blasts from the past there. Cozy. Speaking of blasts from the past, what are you playing?
Yeah, so I haven't been playing. There's not a whole lot for me to talk about over the past week that I've been playing. I played a fair bit more of Picross 3D, which I talked about on a prior episode of the show. Still continues to be pretty fun. I will say, someone that's played a lot of Picross games in my life. I played the bog standard Nintendo Picross games. I played a version that was based on the Overlord anime on the Switch with a lot of busty anime characters. That was also very good. I've really run the gamut when it comes to the Picross games. Picross 3D on the DS, pretty challenging, even with my advanced knowledge of the Picrosses. This is definitely not your uncle's Picross, one could say. But I'm having fun with it. I'm hoping to continue to make some more progress with it. But I can already tell this is the kind of game that I'm not going to be able to complete like in a timely and speedy manner. And I also both beat and platinumed Crysis Remastered, which, as mentioned at the top of the podcast, is our barf game for this month. And I found it to be very, very redacted. There's a certain person in the chat right now by the name of Joel Campos that has some very strong words on Crysis right now. I won't repeat them because I don't want to seed any ideas in the heads of our listeners of how they should feel about Crysis, but he's coming out swinging. And I'll say this is going to be a very interesting review. I am very much looking forward to this, not just because I have a lot of factoids and pages of notes that I'm going to have, but because I feel like this might be one of the more, let's just say, contentious reviews that we've done in quite some time. Not since the days of Zelda 2, I'll say. But we'll have to wait to find out for sure.
Was that contentious, or is it just you against everybody else for liking a bad video game? I don't remember. That's how I remember Zelda 2 going.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the Crysis Remastered trophy platinum look like? Is that worth?
So I need to be careful where I thread, because I don't want to,
Okay.
I don't want to go into super spoiler territory. Here's what I'll say: Crysis 1, unlike Crysis 2 and 3, and unlike most other shooters from that particular generation, doesn't have any collectibles. There are a few trophies based around finding a couple of things in the game, going outside of your way to do a few things here and there that you might not normally do on your basic playthrough of the game, but like nothing that isn't like accomplished in a matter of minutes doing a level select. So it is like, again, I need to be very careful, but like if your aim is to get the platinum in Crysis, you might be surprised by how fast it takes. But whether the platinum is worth going for is an entirely different conversation that we'll have on the review that we'll do of this.
Okay. Cool. And of course, if you're playing Crysis Remastered, or Crysis on PC Game Pass or Steam or Xbox or wherever you have it, you don't have trophies, so it's not even worth attempting to get whatever weird thing that you would get, probably an STI. I don't know, but
there's still Steam achievements. If you care about
but
Steam
it's like saying, "Oh my gosh, I would love to eat a bunch of M&Ms." We're like, well, you could also just eat some broccoli. We're like, no, broccoli, it does the same thing. It fills my tummy, makes me poop, but it's nowhere near worth doing.
Well, you're saying it's achievements versus trophies. I would say it's both. Like, do you want to eat some air, and then you eat air at 2 different locations, and it tastes exactly the same and is meaningless.
Yeah, but is one of them vape air and it's like cotton candy flavored?
I'll say this:
dope clouds.
I'll say this, chat again, remaining free of spoilers for the time being. It took me about 3-ish nights to complete just my basic playthrough of Crysis. It took me a single evening to mop up all the remaining trophies and get the platinum. So it's speedy if you're focused on doing so.
All right. Did you do your original playthrough? Is there like a difficulty, like do it on the hardest difficulty trophy?
Yes, there is. There are difficulty related trophies, unfortunately, but
did you just do your first playthrough on the super hard difficulty, or did you go back and do it again?
I did it on hard, which I think definitely was helpful at reminding me of sort of the rhythm of the campaign. And there's, again, all right, if you guys don't want to be spoiled on Crysis, maybe just fast forward through the next few minutes or seconds or what have you. There are a lot of like objectives that are listed as optional and objectives that are listed as non-optional in Crysis that you can straight up skip if you know exactly where to go and what to do. Like the game is very kind of freeform in terms of its design, and if you know exactly where you're supposed to go next, what you're supposed to do next, you can circumvent a lot of pain points and basically be done with it very easy, even on the hardest difficulties, which is how I was able to complete it so fast.
Okay. Cool. I played this week 2 things with Joel. So even though Joel is, at least someone has his login to Twitch and he's watching, or they're watching us perhaps, we just don't have any like voice print or facial recognition verification that he is alive. Joel and I played a couple games this week, and one of them was Split Fiction some more. We played Split Fiction. Put another couple hours into that, and that game just continues to impress and surprise me with how many. First of all, the pacing is amazing. I feel like every couple of minutes you are either in a brand new environment playing a completely different style of video game, whether you're going from like third person action adventure to a 2D side scrolling platformer to a twin stick shooter to a bullet hell so it's a different style of game every few minutes with different mechanics. And then there's also just completely different environment changes, because like based on the side story, so you might be going through like a sci-fi base on the moon with all sorts of weird tech shit everywhere, doing jetpacks, and then you jump into a side story and you're in like this is like literally a hand-drawn, like actually hand-drawn, like you can see the pencil drawing things on the screen as you're playing the thing, like that kind of shit. And it's just so cool, the variety that's in that game and how well paced it is, especially if you do all of that side content. And Joel and I were talking during the game, just like there has to be so many people on that team. First of all, actually, I looked it up. There are 81 people on that team at Hazelight, but there's a requirement for you to be so well versed in making this gameplay in all of these different genres and all of these different perspectives and all of these different styles. Like it's amazing what they're able to pull off, because most companies are like, cool, we make first person shooters and that's all we know how to do, and we try to do something else and it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. And this is like, cool, we have one set of controls that are very accessible, and you do that in 45,000 different styles of play, and it's just so impressive. So very into that game. We're probably maybe a third of the way through it now, at about 4 or 5 hours. Then the other one that we played, this is currently what's happening on Gears of Wednesdays, which happens on Thursdays, except for now it's happening on Tuesdays because hockey has started up again, which means Thursdays are no longer possible for Dallas. So it's on Tuesdays, except this week when Gears of Wednesdays is back to Thursday because Dallas's hockey game on Monday got postponed to Tuesday, but then Thursday is open and free for him right now for some reason.
I'm going to say right now, we previously established that on Wednesday, it was called Gears of Wednesday. On Thursday,
That's
it was
correct.
called Tears of Thursday. I'm going to say right now that if it's on Tuesday, it's Trials of Tuesday, because you guys deserve to go on trial for no longer playing Gears of War.
But what if it's Trials of Tuesday on a Thursday just for this week?
Then I suppose it would be a trial of Tears of Thursday / Tuesday.
Well, regardless of what it's called and when it happens, we've transformed from Gears of War. Oh shit, I accidentally opened the music app when I dropped my wallet on my keyboard just now. Hold on.
Oh no.
Quit. Okay. It's transformed from Gears of War to playing a little bit of Halo multiplayer, to playing some mini golf, to playing some Mud Runner and some Snow Runner, to now playing a little game called Demio. Or Demio. I think it's Demio. Which is a 4-person dungeon crawling D&D clone game that is super fun. It's drop in, drop out multiplayer as well. In fact, anyone could join. You could join a random game. Joel did the other night. And yeah, you jump in, you choose from one of 6 character classes. It's a little bit of like a roguelite type thing because you start an adventure together, and your adventure is loosely based around a particular story or a boss that you're going after in this particular environment. And each adventure lasts about 3 hours. It's 3 levels of a dungeon. The bottom level has a boss on it. And you all choose what character class you want to be when you start it. But your characters don't level up. You just get money as you explore the dungeon that can then be used at a shop in game during the level to buy abilities in the form of cards. So you have a deck of cards in your hand, or a hand of cards that you use to perform your abilities and attacks and things like that. And so what's really nice about that is because there's no character progression really, you're free to explore. Like, you're not locked into one particular character archetype. If we played a barbarian in one round, and then the next night you play a different one, and you're like, cool, I want to switch up, and I want to be an assassin this time, or I want to be a sorcerer this time. So that's really cool. And then the actual progression that you get experience points as you play. That progression leads to unlockables, cosmetic unlockables. You can get, a cooler looking 20-sided die. You can get different gloves. We're playing in VR because this game is playable in a bunch of different VR settings: PSVR, Apple Vision Pro, MetaQuest, and we're all playing different mix. In fact, I think every single one of us has a different headset.
I was to say crossplay, right?
Matt has a MetaQuest 3. Yeah, it's crossplay. Matt has a MetaQuest 3. Dallas has a MetaQuest 2. I'm playing on Vision Pro. Joel's playing on PSVR. And the lobby is like, you literally just enter a shared number, and you all join the lobby. It's really seamless and cool. The only weird thing is about saving your progress. We had to learn from some wiki yesterday that if you have to save in between floors of a dungeon, and if anyone proceeds, like Joel has to hit save and quit because he's leading the game. If Joel hits save and quit and he leaves, and any of us even click the button to progress to the next screen, then we are no longer part of Joel's save. And when we join back on him, it'll be his save with those characters, but all of our cards that we bought are gone and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a little weird and quirky in that, and it's not very intuitive, and it doesn't tell you really a lot of things about that. But regardless, it's a ton of fun. You can, in VR, you can like zoom in super close so that you're actually like looking around in these hallways at these little characters. You're picking them up with your fingers and placing them on the spots that you want them to go. You're like actually grabbing the dice and rolling it. It's really cool. And you can, of course, at any time freely move around the board, and it's all this 3-dimensional dungeon that you're looking at. So it's a super cool experience. It's a ton of fun. We're gonna be playing it again, I guess, Thursday on Gears of Wednesday, Tears of Tuesday, Thursday. So it's a good time. It's also available like static 2D on like iPad and Mac and Steam and PS4.
It's
Maybe
50%
PS5.
off. It's PS5. It's 50% off right now on Steam as well. Steam Spring Sale. Come on now.
There you go. It was like I forget what we picked it up for. We picked it up on PSVR. Actually, I did. Turns out I bought it 2 years ago with PSVR too, and I had completely forgotten that I did. But yeah, I think it was on sale for like $17 when it's normally 40 on PSVR right now. So it's a good time.
I'm happy.
Highly
I'm
recommend.
happy that you guys are having fun playing all these various non-Gears of War games. But one day you'll see the light. One day you will no longer be on trial. One day you will no longer have tears streaming down your face, and you will recognize the majesty that is Gears of Wednesdays. One day.
Who knows? Who knows? As we get closer to E-Day, maybe we'll pick that back up. And that's it. That's all I've been playing. So let's move on to our. Hey, Adam, do we have a segment from Adam? Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's letters underneath here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we have things from there all the time that are just
Yeah,
left
you're
over.
right.
So I just
I
wanna
also
make sure
said
before
earlier I
sing the
didn't
song.
have
And I
one,
didn't.
but I do.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? So I'm glad I made sure. Segment from Adam. That's the Final Fantasy battle. Like you won the battle music, which I've done before, but like that was the first thing that came to mind right now. So
You could have done the Harry Potter one
segment from
since we
Adam.
talked about it earlier.
Segment from Adam. Segment.
Okay, anyways, I'm bringing back a classic. I haven't done this one in a while, and I was thinking, like, what can I throw together real quick? Because I got off work late. I'm like, this is perfect. We haven't done it, and it's a good one. We're going to play How Long to Beat the quiz game. This is the game where I have, again, guys, don't look it up. I have 2 games selected on howlongtobeat.com. And what I'm going to ask you guys basically is, how long is this game to beat? Where I'm looking for is main story, main plus sides, completionist, and then the user score. So what they'll do is they'll give me a random number. I'll tell them if they're within 5, one way or the other, if they're within 10, one way or the other, or if they're outside of 10. And they will try to narrow, they'll get one more guess to narrow down their scores. The closer you are to the real number, the more points you get. Whoever has the most points at the end of these 2 games is the winner. So what I have done, the theme for this week are games that were a disappointment, but games that would have been exciting to Cozy and to Chad. So 2 games you guys would have been excited for that were actually disappointments. This is me poking fun at you guys.
Okay.
So we'll have to have fun with that. So what I've done, here's the thing is, I don't want to be like, oh, I don't want. So who won last time between you and Cozy? Do you guys?
Last time we played this?
No, just in general. Last time we played a game between you and Cozy. Last week, who won?
I feel like Chad statistically, last time Chad won.
Okay, so Cozy, since you were the loser, you get the benefit of. Do you want the game that is tailored to me making fun of you, or do you want the game that is tailored to me making fun of Chad?
Let's switch things up. I'm going to go with Chad's.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll tell you the game. You will give me the information, and then at the end of it, I'll tell you how close you are, and then you can make a change to your scores. But please, guys, do the math. Keep it down because I cannot do multiple things at once. So I'm rounding up, by the way. If it's at a half, it's going up.
Okay.
The game that I chose for Chad that Cozy is going to guess of is Knack. Chad loves his PlayStation. He thinks PlayStation is perfect. I literally typed into Google worst PlayStation exclusive games, and that came up.
So a quick timeout. I don't know if I ever
Uh-huh.
talked about it on the podcast. I beat and platinumed both Knack 1 and Knack 2. So don't exclude me from the conversation in thinking that I'm someone
your
that
game
wouldn't be
is
excited
much.
about these games.
Your game is much better. I think it's very funny. So again, I'm rounding up that.
And by the way, when I
halves.
say that I would be excited about Knack, I thought both games were very mediocre. I'm not actually that excited about them. I'm just saying that I played them.
There, you don't have a Knack tattoo? I thought you were one of those people. No. Okay, very good. So Cozy, I need the main story, main plus sides, completionist, and user score on how long to beat for Knack.
The thing about Knack is like Knack's main story is like fairly long, and actually getting 100% completion in it is like also obscenely long as well. I'm gonna say that main is 25. I'm gonna say that main plus sides is 35. I'll go ahead. I'll mark it in the shared doc. I'm gonna say the completionist. This sounds very high, but I'm very confident in this. Is 65. I'm going to say that the score is exactly 66.
Okay, so yeah, good. You have it over in the doc. So you said main plus sides was 25. You are outside of 10.
So wait. So I did main was 25. Main plus sides is 35.
That's what I bet. Main is 25. You're outside of 10.
Okay.
Main plus sides you said was 35. You are outside of 10.
Okay.
Completionist you said was 65. You are outside of 10. User score you said was 66. You are within 5.
Okay. So either I'm lowballing it or highballing it. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to actually go a little bit lower. I'm going to go a little bit lower. I think. I guess there are two different kinds of people. There are people like me that like just struggle to get through these games, and then there are people like Chad who are like, "Oh boy, Knack," and they just complete it in like 4 hours. So I'm gonna say,
to be clear, I don't even own Knack.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I don't want the rumor to get out there that Chad is like a Knack fanatic and has like a Knack blow up doll.
Chad, show us. Take off all your clothes. Show us your body. We need to find the Knack tattoo. I'm gonna go main. I'm going down to 15. Main plus sides, I'm going down to 25, and completionist, I'm going down to 45. So I'll make the changes now in the
change them in there.
Shared document.
So Knack, according to how long to beat, is main story is 10.5, so we'll round up to 11. So Knack is 11 hours main story. That'll earn you oh god, I gotta remember how to do this math because we're going away from it. So if you were on it, you would get 10 points. But you are, what did you guess?
15.
It's 11.
So 4?
No, 6.
So you get 6 points. Yeah.
6 points.
Right, because it's 4 minus, got it.
Yeah. Main plus sides, 12.5, rounded up to 13. You are outside of 10. Completionist is 38, making you get 3 points because you're 8 away.
Okay.
And the users, did you change user score or did you keep it the same?
Kept it the same.
User score is a 62.
Okay.
Meaning you are 4 away, so give yourself 6 points.
Okay. The main plus sides is always so tough because like you don't know to some people what constitute as a side that's not part of the larger process of completing the game. And so yeah, sometimes it's really close to the main, sometimes it's not. I was a little off there, but I'm overall I would say that I'm pretty satisfied with this outcome.
All right, very cool. Appreciate it, Keaton, in the chat. So that was Knack for you. No.
Yeah, Mass Keaton in the chat. We can't let this joke go unsaid. Any humor in that game is a knack joke.
Wow.
Very good. So Cozy has a total of 15 points.
Well, what's funny, sorry, just to go back to Mass Keaton's comment. What's funny about that, like, okay, so like the Knack games, they're like these weird failed attempts at like making a new mascot platformer during the PS4 era. What's so quote unquote funny about those games is how like consistently unfunny they are. They look like Pixar movies. You expect them to be making jokes akin to what you would experience in a Pixar movie, but they're like deadly serious. There are no jokes to be found at all playing Knack games other than the joke of the fact that you're playing them.
I mean, have you seen Mark Cerny talk before?
He
That
loves
dude has
fucking
zero
Kentucky.
sense of humor.
That's true.
I mean, that makes sense.
He's not even a wet paper towel, like a slightly moist paper towel. Anyway, so Chad, you need to get over 15 points to beat Cozy. Your game, which I chose for Cozy, a game that was disappointing to the thing that you love the most. I need the how long to beat information for Metal Gear Survive.
Oh, Metal Gear
Survive.
Survive, that old zombie multiplayer game.
Never played it. Never played it.
But you love everything Kojima does, even if it's not Kojima.
But
you still love it.
I was gonna say he was not involved in that one.
You know the funny thing? I heard that it was his idea. He just never made the game, but he actually had the idea for Metal Gear Survive. So your hero, where has he fallen?
Wow.
I need.
I'm gonna say I have no fucking clue about this game, but I'm gonna assume it's on the scale of like a Ground Zeroes type thing, where it's like a side project kind of thing that they just shipped quickly. And so I'm gonna say main story is 6 hours. Main plus sides is 11. Completionist is 13, and a score of 63.
I know that technically I shouldn't be helping Chad, but
Okay.
after you say how accurate Chad was, am I allowed to offer Chad a few pointers?
You can do whatever you want, bud. There's no rules in this game.
Go
Except
in.
for don't look up the answers and cheat.
Tell him what you think.
So I'm not gonna tell him what these are factual.
Right.
Numbers.
No, I misspoke.
No, you're fine. For main story, you are outside of 10. For main plus sides, you are outside of 10. For completionist, you are outside of 10. For user score, you are within 10.
So here's what I'll say, Chad.
Within 10, outside of 5, right? So somewhere in that 6 to 10
Yes.
range?
Somewhere in the 6 to 10 range.
Okay.
So I never played Metal Gear Survive, Chad, but I did play Metal Gear Solid 5. And let me tell you, like completing the campaign in that game, I would put it's like a decently meaty campaign. It's not the longest one ever, but it's like more hours than you would spend on something like The Last of Us Part 2, for example. And getting the platinum in that game, a very meaty affair as well. Very demanding, lots of side objectives. Again, I've never played Survive, but you should probably aim a little higher, is my opinion.
I'm gonna wildly overcorrect, and we're gonna go 34 hours on the main, 48 hours on the main plus sides, 60 hours on completionist, and 69 is a good old 6 away for the user score.
Okay. The actual main campaign of Metal Gear Survive is 23 hours. So you did need to bump it up. You bumped it up a little too much. Main plus sides is 32. Completionist is 61 hours.
Oh, there's 9 points right there, baby.
Give yourself 9 points for that one. So you absolutely
7 points here.
When you were talking to him, like, oh, fuck, Chad lost. And then you got to that, and I was like, oh, fuck, Chad can make it up. So did you go the right way for the user score is the question. Because if you get a good user score, you can win. The user score for Metal Gear Survive on howlongtobeat.com is 54%.
God
Went
damn
the wrong way. That is 0 points for you.
The difference between
winner.
A game like Knack and Metal Gear Survive is Knack people regard as a joke. Nobody takes Knack seriously, but nobody hates Knack. Nobody's like, I want to fucking kill that wooden thingamabob, whatever he's made out of. Metal Gear Survive is a game that, like, beyond just being disappointing, people also hate because of the whole Hideo Kojima of it all, of him not being involved, of them making the game after he departed Konami. And so beyond it being bad, there are people who are like, I really have an axe to grind with this particular one.
I will say both those games are within 10 points of each other on the user score. So they're not that
is true.
They're really pretty close. But yeah, neither one of them are very much like. But yeah, people definitely hate Survive more for multiple reasons. But yeah, Cozy wins. He has 15 to Chad's 9.
Whew.
That's the game for the week. There we go. I had another one, but Joel wasn't here, so it is what it is.
All right. Thanks for that segment from Adam. Cozy, you got a question?
I have a segment of Cozy's question of the week that we can play. Chad, hit the song.
All right. cozy. He's got a question. He's gonna make you answer it, and he'll get frustrated at how you say the numbers.
Hell yeah. Chad, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 13.
Again, integer.
No, a whole number.
Which is an integer as well.
Yes, that's right. I was confused
Okay,
for
whole
a second.
number. Is it a base 10 number, or can it be on like a base 7?
I will just say, you know what, Chad? Say anything and I will round up to whatever's closest.
All right. I'm going to say, like, if you picture like a triangle on a 2D plane, but what happens if you put that on the surface of a sphere and you think about this non-Euclidean geometry? It was like that distance and those relationships change a little bit. So we're going to go with 9.
9. Okay. A
Yep.
nice whole number. Much appreciated. Adam, pick a number between 14 and
14.
26. 14.
Don't need you to finish that sentence. 14 works for me.
All right. Number 9. What is the best way to spend a Sunday evening knowing that a busy work week awaits you the following sunrise?
Fucking.
I'm sorry. Can you say that question again? Because in my brain, I was like, for some reason, I was ready for this question to have a correct answer. I was like, all right, let me get ready. Like I'm doing TMI with MPD or something like that. Can you read it again so I can think about it differently?
What is the best way to spend a Sunday evening knowing that a busy work week awaits you the following sunrise?
Okay. The correct answer is you watch whatever episode of an HBO thing is on that week, whether it's White Lotus or The Last of Us season 2 or Righteous Gemstones, all of which are 2 of which are options right now. The third of which will be in just a few weeks. You take your dog out and get a little JoJo or some sexual intercourse going, and
wait, while you're taking the dog out, or is this just do this, comma?
This is these are non-sequential. These are just
Uh-huh.
items that can happen in any order.
Okay.
Overlapping as well, perhaps. Maybe you're watching The Last of Us and you see that clicker head and you're like, whoa, the way those 2 little fungus petals on its head look almost like a vagina. I have to JoJo right now.
Jojo Rabbit on Disney Plus now.
What a fucking great movie, Jojo Rabbit. All right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not particularly creative. It is just lounging in front of the TV and trying to drown out all the stimuli around me. Sorry that's not particularly
that works.
original, but I mean, that's it. That's the truth.
Mine is a mix of those. It's you go to a barbecue or get drunk and then just fucking plow. Just fucking plow.
At the barbecue?
Your heart's content. I mean, if you want to. I would say you could wait till you get home. You have some drinks in you. But the point is you're about to be working for however many days straight. You don't have time for it then. So just fucking go at it now.
All righty. And with that, we
is the barbecue itself important? Like,
it can be.
Does it have to be? Can it just be a food gathering, or does it have to be
just
barbecue?
food? Because here's the thing: when people get together, they drink alcohol to enjoy the company and the food, and alcohol leads to a lot of plowing. You know,
that's true. And to be clear, we're talking about like plowing a field, like planting a bunch of produce.
Yeah, IRL Stardew Valley.
Okay.
Oh, like the donkey.
Different kind of seed. Okay.
You're using the animal, the ass, to help plow the fields.
Because if you plow an ass in, I think all 50 states, you will go to jail. Just a big heads up.
And we are moving on to question number 14. What would you cook for the cast of the Uncharted games if they announced that they were coming to your house for dinner? So,
we'll get
Nathan
some in the
Drake,
plow, you know?
Elena Fisher, Chloe Cutter, maybe Zoran Lazarevic, maybe Jeff the camera guy.
Lazarevic, oh my god.
Maybe the 2 people from Uncharted 3, including the one dude who seemingly had powers of invisibility, or maybe he didn't. I don't really know.
There's only 2 options.
There'd be a lot of mango involved.
You know, it's either you're going to do a Mediterranean dish because they feel like they explore and they would eat Mediterranean, or you just go straight up Toretto in the backyard barbecue. It's about a family, get a Michelob Ultra and a grilled chicken breast. It's one of those two. So either Mediterranean with mangoes or just fucking barbecue chicken. That's the only two options.
Would you? I did not think about this when I originally composed this question, but now I feel like I need to ask it. Would you be concerned if the cast of Uncharted was coming over to your house for dinner that you would get attacked halfway through the meal? That like the bad guys of the Uncharted game you're in would descend upon your house? Because I feel like that would be a concern if I was having Nathan Drake over for dinner, and I feel like I would try to compensate for it and be like, okay, I'm gonna put a bunch of tables around the yard so that when the bad guys show up, we can like hide behind the tables and serve as cover. But like, excuse me, that was a
Bless you.
real bad sneeze. But like, I would try to do it in such a way so that it's like not suspicious. Like it doesn't look like nobody would look at it and be like, huh, it's those tables are arranged in an interesting fashion, almost as if they're meant to serve as cover for the nameless bad guys that are going to attack us later. And I'd be like, no, nothing you need to worry about.
So here's the thing. This goes for all pulp action stars. This is your Indiana Jones. This is your Lara Croft. This is your Nathan Drake. They live super normal, like everyday lives, like they're doing their own thing. And then like a 4-day stretch happens where shit goes down, and then they're good for like the next 2 or 3 years. So just ask, like, hey Drake, hey Elena, is this one of those weeks, or are we good? And then you can go from there. Because if they say like, oh, I'm in the middle of finding goddamn El Dorado, I'm like, you got to get out.
Oh, I forgot.
Shit's about to happen.
I listed all the Uncharted characters. I completely forgot about Sully. He would be great to have over.
El goddamn Dorado.
But
it has to be Mark Wahlberg. It can't be the guy from the video game.
I don't know about that one. Oh my god! Now I'm going through. Sorry, I'm going through the cast. I'm like, oh no! What if it's the cast of the Uncharted movie, but in character as their characters from the Uncharted universe? So it's Tom Holland as Nathan Drake rather than Nathan Drake. That would be. I don't like that.
Were Nate and Sully the only two like canonical game characters in that movie?
No, because what's her
Lena
name?
wasn't in there,
The
right?
British girl
Chloe
was
wasn't in
there.
there?
Yeah,
Was
no, the British
Chloe
girl
in
was
there?
there. Yeah, Chloe was in there.
I saw that. So, fun fact: I saw that movie on a flight to Barcelona, and there's like a climactic fight scene that happens in that movie in Barcelona. There's a scene where Mark Wahlberg's like, "I'm in a Papa John's right now," and I was like, "Oh, I should find that Papa John's when I'm in Barcelona," but I completely forgot about it when I was there.
I'm in a Papa John's right now. Yeah, no, she's in there, right, Chad? Chloe?
Sophia Ali. Yeah, I don't remember her at all in this thing.
She was in there.
But speaking of her playing Chloe Fraser, that is the one person I'm looking to impress.
That's
with
the
my
preferred
cooking
guest,
skills
absolutely.
on this thing.
Yeah.
I think Chloe Fraser was the first time I had a crush on a video game character. And so the dish that I'm making is going to be like a stew that contains some saffron, some apples, some ginkgo biloba extract, a little bit of ginseng, some maca, some
Did you look up like a love
Tribulus
potion?
terrestris,
Like what is it?
and
I was gonna
some
say-
fenugreek. All of these have some evidence that they
Aphrodisiac.
increase women's libido.
Oh, love it.
And then for dessert, we can have chocolate, coffee, honey covered strawberries with raw oysters, because those all have anecdotal evidence of increasing the female libido.
I was going to say, if you want to end your weekend with some Uncharted style plowing, there you go. Go to Chad's house for dinner.
Come to my house, y'all.
And that is
Great
that
questions,
for
great
Cozy's
questions.
questions of the week.
Speaking of plowing, it's time for Game on Game Show. The game on our game show, we play a game called Game on the Gaming Show on a game show. Game. This week, we're playing a new game called Video Game Portman. Whoa. This is basically a direct ripoff of a McElroy Brothers staple from My Brother and Me called Work of Fart, where you take a famous work of art, you describe it in a way that it also includes some kind of perversion to it, and then you have to name, all right, if I were to take the name of that actual piece of art and then marry it with some kind of like dirty thing like poop, butt, sex, etc., what would the new combined portmanteau of that thing be
Like the
called?
penis de Milo is the statue instead of the Venus de Milo, right? Is that the idea?
Exactly. So the way that this works, I have like an example one here as a throwaway that I gave little to no effort in thinking of a description. I'm describing a video game series, not necessarily an exact video game, but a video game series. And you will each have 2 guesses. I only have 1 descriptor for the whole series, so you have 2 guesses. Whoever shouts it out first gets the point. There are 5 total, not counting the example one. And here's the example. So for this one, I might say a military shooter set during the War for Butts. In which case, you might respond Call of Booty
Oh, God,
instead of Call of Duty.
very good. Okay.
Yeah. Do we have a general understanding of how the game works?
Yes.
Okay.
Cozy
just
does
want
it?
to make sure.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Oh, I
Okay,
realize
cool.
it's because I don't right now in the video ninja call, I'm not sharing my screen, and so I just nodded, forgetting that you can't visually see my confirmation. But yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. I've got the stream up, but there's a 7-second delay. So I saw your nod eventually, but it's too late. Okay.
Got it.
So here we go. This is probably the next least creative one. Use what your mama gave you to recruit your friends and save the universe from the Reapers.
Ass Effect.
Ass Effect is correct. That is correct, Adam. You get 1 point.
Very nice.
All right, number 2. These single rider vehicles, driven by a lineup of memorable characters, are definitely gas powered.
Mario Fart.
Mario Fart is correct. Give yourself another point, Adam.
Oh man. I need to get in the proper headspace for this because there's
Yeah,
a
pretend you're 12
theme
years old again.
going on
Yeah,
with this
exactly.
segment. I need to adhere to a little stronger.
All right, this next one here, number 3. Burly men head out into the night, exploring covers-based shooting and working their way through waves of horny adversaries. Burly men head out into the night,
Bears
exploring.
of War?
You're on the right track.
I just don't know with it. Yeah.
Head out into the night, exploring covers-based shooting and working their way through waves of horny adversaries.
I can't think of it. I mean, Bears of War is good,
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
but it's not right. I don't
It's
know.
more
I
of a
figured it
slant
was-
rhyme.
Slant
Yeah.
rhyme.
You're definitely on the right franchise.
What would be the dirty thing is the question.
Out in the night,
You can keep saying
waves of horny adversaries. You might say hordes of
Yeah.
horny adversaries.
Yeah.
Nibbling
One after another.
How about this one? Nibbling on some ears of war.
Nope, that is incorrect.
You don't know. You don't know if that's incredibly sexy on the planet.
This is
Sarah.
why I don't think of Cozy as a sexual being because he nibbles. Okay, gangbangs of war.
That is incorrect.
That's good.
So that's your 2, Adam. Cozy, you have one more guess.
Oh man. Poppers of War. Let's go with that one.
No. So the correct answer was Gears of Whore. Gears of War.
That's good. That's
Men of the
good.
Night, cover-based shooting, waves of
Okay.
horny adversaries.
Okay.
That's why I said gangbang.
Yeah. Our second to last option here. So if you get both of these correct, Alex, you could tie Adam.
Okay.
A historical fiction journey through time exploring the urination habits of history's storied contract killers.
Pissman.
That is incorrect.
Assassin's Peed.
Assassin's
there we
Creed.
go.
That is correct, Adam.
There we go. But Pissman
All
is
right,
pretty
our
good. You
final
gotta
one.
give me a bonus 0.1 points for that one.
Our final one, just for fun. This controversial competitive game substituted red for white as a response to Nintendo asking for blood to be removed from the game.
Mortal Kombat.
That is correct, Alex.
Yeah!
Very good. I'm like,
glad I got
what
that
is
one
with
correct.
Mortal Kombat? That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat is correct. All right, that's it for Video Game Portman. Whoa. That's it for Game on Game Show. That is it for episode 388 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you, everyone, for listening so much. It means so much to me that you want to come out here, you want to listen to me, you come out here, you wake me up 10,000 years. Give you a real crick in the neck. I miss Robin Williams. You have homework. Patreon.com/respawn9fire. You can go watch After Dark 2. Find out why Poppers is suddenly everywhere now in modern media. Watch After Dark 2. Vote on our barf games. If you want to be involved in our Crysis barf discussion, whether that is asynchronously through a note, maybe you write us a note, or you want to be there synchronously and recording live with us on location, which is Video Ninja, let us know. And we will attempt to include you in that conversation to the best of our ability. If you would just like to influence what we do, go to patreon.com/respawn-aimfire next week-ish, and we will have a poll up for April's barf game. Where you can get that too.
Real quick, I don't think we publicly announced it, but I believe right now the plan is next week, in place of our regular episode of the show, we will just be doing the live Crysis barf review because of scheduling stuff that worked out that way. So that's the plan for next week.
That is correct. So if you have played Crysis or plan to by next Monday, March 24th, and you would like to be on the show, fucking tell us.
Hell yeah.
Just fucking do it. And if you are not a patron, you still get access to some cool stuff just late. So you can go to YouTube and podcast services and listen to After Dark 1 and find out all about our movie-going habits and the one reason why no one should ever go see a movie with Daddy Cozina. What is it? You'll find out. Watch After Dark, available now everywhere that you find audio and video things. And that's it. Anything got any? Oh, Adam, you said you might have something to plug this week, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching this live, you can get in there now. If you're listening to it, you can go back and watch the VOD. But Misfit Rolls is coming back Tuesday, every other Tuesday, to stream our new campaign. It is a Blades in the Dark game. So, Chad, I brought this up earlier. That's what Steeplechase was, Blades in the Dark, where you do heist and steal stuff. It's a game called Gangs of Gotham, where we are in the world of Batman's Gotham, and we're little criminals running around stealing stuff. Batman's around. Fuck us up. It'll be fun. But that'll be live on Tuesdays at Misfit Rolls on twitch.tv/Misfit Rolls. And then the VOD will go up on the YouTube channel for Misfit Rolls as well. So
are you a bunch of minions working for like a big time criminal like the Joker or the Penguin, or are you just like your own
we're a
gang?
new crew. We're our own crew and we got to build our way up. Some of us are already established characters in the world. A lot of us are original characters.
Interesting.
Dope. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, be cool.
Cozy, you got anything to plug?
No.
Other than your Star Wars celebration in Tokyo, Japan?
Which I'm
scheduled
not going to be attending unless I get in contact with Bob Iger or whoever's in charge right away. No, nothing to talk about right now. I'll probably come next week with the next episode of the. Sorry, I said come and then I couldn't think
you really
of anything but Mortal
too.
Kombat. Next week I'll probably have some more details to share about my upcoming trip. Maybe there's some fun things to talk about in that regard, but nothing right now.
Dope. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Remember last week when we did that weird milking thing? And it was just like, it was uncomfortable.